Well, good morning on this Thursday morning. I'm sitting here on the back porch and picking my guitar a little bit and then listening to the news and music a little bit, fixing to read some. I made a tape to send to my son for a group to learn one of the songs I've written I used to use in our meetings. So I just thought I'd go live and just hope you're having a good Thursday. Remind you of a couple things. Don't forget tomorrow night, Friday night, we'll have our live podcast. We'll be dealing with biblical numbers tomorrow. You know, always in Bible prophecy and Bible discussions, people always bring up biblical numerology. I don't know, I probably got 5 or 6 books in my library that the author just wrote about Bible numbers, what all the numbers mean. And not every number, all the way through a million, not every number has a special meaning, but, the first 40 and then beyond that, there's certain numbers, just like the number 7, the number of completion, the number 3, Trinity, 8, new beginning, things like that. So Bible numbers do play a part. I don't push it a lot. I'm not dogmatic about it, and I don't try to make everything fit into biblical numerology, but the numbers do come up often in the Bible, like in the tribulation. We were talking the other day in our post, yesterday, I guess, about the tribulation. 3 sets of judgments, and each one 7 years of tribulation. So God's 7 is completion. So it's all through the Bible. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on this Facebook page. And we'll remind you to follow us on Facebook. If you're not, hit the follow button. And we could sure use your number to add to our goal. We're trying to get up to 10,000 followers. And then also, too, our YouTube page is up and running. And God's really blessed in the last couple of weeks. We've had, I think now, as we get close to tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, 2 weeks, I think we'll have over 70,000 views on our Facebook page. And then there's about 1,000 views on our YouTube page, and it's less than a week old. So give the Lord all the credit for that. Thank God for that. I'm not able to travel right now like I have all my life in the ministry, so social media gives me a platform. And right now, out of all of our views, taking the 100%, only 25% is reaching America. The other 75% is other countries around the world. I think the second country is Nigeria, and of course Kenya, Pakistan, India. They all play, a percentage here and there. So a lot of folks, a lot of countries, a lot of places, a lot of people, a lot of needs, a lot of burdens. Not much time. And so, but I had my guitar. I thought I'd sing one this morning while I was here. There's an old song, and my voice is gone. I lost my voice 15 years ago. Went without it for many years, and then I got the ability to kind of speak a little bit. It was very gravelly, worse than it is now. And so I didn't sing for many, many years. And I had 2 surgeries at Johns Hopkins back in 2022. And they got my ability back to speak, and I've sung a little. I sing a little bit at the church once in a while, but the quality's so bad, and I'm almost embarrassed sometimes, but I do want to use what little bit I got for the Lord. I'm not going to sit back and not serve the Lord because of a handicap. I know so many people have handicaps. I got a deaf friend of mine, Maria Podbresky, she's deaf, and she talks, but she's deaf, and she sings. She gets up and sings with her hand, and she sings sometimes along with it, makes sounds she can't hear. And so if she doesn't have the ability to hear and she tries to sing for the glory of God, who am I to say because my voice doesn't sound as good as it used to, or it doesn't sound as good as other people's? And some people even told me that it hurts me to listen to you because it sounds like you're hurting. Well, I'm not hurting. I'm sorry it hurts you, but it's just what I've got. I was angry for a while, and I've questioned God a lot about it. I need to go back to Johns Hopkins and get a recheck again and see if there's anything he could do. But I've just about accepted the fact I'm 69, and I've lived through the loss of the voice and the 2 surgeries at Johns Hopkins, and I've had so many surgeries on my back, and I've had so many other surgeries, and I've been through over 2 years of cancer treatments. And I'm tired of all the treatments, and I know I don't have much longer before the Lord's going to call me home. So I don't know about fixing up this old body much more. I want to stay around as long as I can. But I'm tired of going in and out of the hospitals and recouping from surgeries. And, I'm tired. Whatever I've got, whatever God gives me, it's His will. So I'll use what I got. If I can't sing, I can play a little. I can't play as good as I used to. I'll arthritis and all the joints are tight. You know the story. You that are my age or older, you know the story. There's no Happy Goodman song. Well, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Gonna make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around. He's offered everything that's got a name. All the wealth I want, worthy fame. If I could, still wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I started out traveling for the Lord many years ago. Had a lot of heartaches, had a lot of griefs and woe. But when I'd stumble, then I'd humble down. And there I would say it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Gonna make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me, tries to turn me around. He's offered everything that's got a name. All the wealth I want, worthy fame. If I could, still wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. There's nothing in the world that could ever take the place of God's love. Silver and gold can never buy His mighty touch from above. When my soul needs healing and I begin to feel in His power, it's there, say the Lord, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Gotta make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around. He's offered everything that's got a name. The wealth I want, worthy fame. If I could, still wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Gonna make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around. Well, He offered everything that's got a name. All the wealth I want, worthy fame. If I could, still wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I'd say thank the Lord, it wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, I don't like the part where it says gonna make it to heaven somehow. I'm gonna make it, I know, to heaven, but that's the way it was written, so I sing it the way it's written. But anyway, just having a little fun this morning. I know some of y'all probably run off the road, but if you was driving, you probably didn't crash by now. Say, what is that noise coming across the internet? Well, that's me. The Bible says make a joyful noise. I never understood what that was until I lost my voice, and so it is a joyful noise, I know, but praise God. I just want to sing a little bit this morning, singing the joy of the Lord's my strength. And music soothes the savage beast, the writer said. And David used the harp to soothe the spirit of Saul, calm the demons that were tormenting Saul. And so a lot of times, and today's one of those days where I'm just kind of melancholy and not feeling so good and thinking about a lot of things I want to do and I can't do and wished I could do. And a lot of things I need to be doing and a lot of things that I desire to do. Got a lot going on, got the book coming out. We got 3 more chapters to finish reading for the last time. This will be my 6th time editing it. The editor edited it 3 times. AI did it twice, and then I've read it. This will be my 6th time. So it's 3 more chapters, and the book part, the written part, the text will be done. And then we're still got pictures to go through to come up with all our pictures. And I posted a few last night. I took some picture shots of some that were in frames in my building. Hey, Brother Dean Chapman. Hey, Miss Betsy. And I see who's on here, Stacy and Julie and Keith. Good to see y'all. Hope you're having a good day. But I put some pictures on there last night. I just took some shots of some pictures in frames. Those will come out and going to be copied and made a lot more clear. But just pulling up a whole lot of pictures. Saw Miss Granny Porch from down Landis. When I started to preach, Miss Granny Porch and Jenny Ellers, 2 widows in our church, came to my trailer, mobile home, where me and my wife and kids were living there in Kannapolis, and they came in and said, we're so excited God's called you to preach, and said, we love you. And Jenny Ellers gave me the first set of commentaries anybody gave me, was a set of Oliver B. Green commentaries, and I've still got them to this day. And they said, we want to pray for you, and we want to pray for you every day. We're going to be your prayer warriors as God sends you around the country. as you start preaching for the Lord and and the gospel. And so they knelt down beside my couch, and I was in between them, and they laid hands on me. And those two precious widow ladies prayed, and they prayed for me every day. And before Miss Granny Porch died, she was in a nursing home. Her body was gone, but her body was shot, but her mind was still good. So I went to see her right before she passed away, and I went in and was talking to her, and we were talking about memories and good meetings. We'd been in Camp Zion down at Myrtle. She'd gone down there many times with us, and she'd get to shout, and she'd, glory, 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 whoa, glory, glory. She'd get to shouting and clapping her little hands. And I got in that nursing home room with her. I said, Sister Porch, I said, I know there's a lot to ask, and I know you're sick and you ain't got many more days for this life, but would you do me a favor? Would you lay your old hands on me and pray for me one more time? And she took her little bony hands. She probably didn't weigh 90 pounds. And she took her little bony hands. I laid my hands on her breast, and she popped her hands on top of my head, and she got to praying. And when she got to praying, she got in the Holy Ghost, got to shouting. The nurses, a couple of nurses had already come in, and a doctor had stopped by. Some other people that were guests in the nursing home and other workers, people doing the food service and all, they started filling up the room, and the room got full. And I was laying my head on her breast, and she had her hands on my head, and she got to clapping and said, whoa, glory, glory, well, glory, glory, whoa, glory. She got to shouting, I got to shouting, and people was crying, and people standing there in the room, and the room got full. We had camp meeting. She passed away shortly after that, and me and Brother Ralph Sexton did her funeral, and her family didn't like it because they were embarrassed by their mother, but we took a tape from down at Camp Zion where she was down there, and she had a shouting spell on the second row right in front of the pulpit there where Dr. Percy Ray was at. And we played about 5 minutes of that, her testifying and shouting. They shouted all over Landis Baptist at her funeral. And so she was a great prayer warrior, and I posted her picture last night. And I think I've got one of Jenny Eller's I'm going to try to find. And Miss Jenny came to a meeting up in Mooresville with Eddie Graham's church in Troutman, Mooresville area, when I was preaching right before she died. She was there sitting in the center, in the middle aisle. And I went back to her while I was preaching and stopped and laid my head on her lap, and she prayed for me while I was preaching. I just stopped and I said, Miss Jenny, I want you to pray for me one more time. And they got to shouting and carrying on, and she went home to be with the Lord shortly after that. So I lost those two prayer warriors, and then Kyla Rowland, you remember Miss Rowland, Kyla, that sung and wrote so many songs, thousands of songs that many groups sing today. And Kyla was a dear friend. Her and EQ, you remember EQ, that married her brother Ron Rowland, and he sung with the Rowland family for years. EQ sung the high part, and her and Ron got married, and her and Kyla were best friends. Well, her and EQ came to me in a meeting, and I didn't tell them nothing about this, what I'm telling you, but they came to me in a meeting, and they said, God's burdened us about you, and would you mind if we prayed for you every day as one of our preachers? And so Miss Kyla prayed for me, I guess, until she went home to be with the Lord. And EQ, she's still around. I haven't seen her in a long time, but I hope Miss EQ's still praying for me. I've had a lot of prayer warriors through the years. I'm married to a prayer warrior that prays for me every day, so those songs and things like that bring back memories to me. So I posted some pictures, and those are things that's going to be in the new book that will be coming out this summer. Just a lot of memories. We got a lot to be thankful for. I've been blessed. I thought about all the preachers that I've got to preach with and for and spend time with around the table and get to know. Harold Seitler and J. Harold Smith and Percy Ray and B.R. Lakin and Lester Roloff and Bobby Robertson and Tim Lee. Just all the great evangelists. Ralph Sexton Sr., Ralph Sexton Jr., Ralph Sexton Sr.'s brother, Uncle Lee Sexton, P.E. Kirkendall from over in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that traveled all over the mountains with Ralph Sexton Sr. as they preached. And all those stories I sat and heard many times after a meeting. We'd go to a place like Burger King and stay till 2 o'clock in the morning. They'd tell those stories that's in Dr. Sexton's book now, Send the Light. And I've been blessed. And, I'm to the end of my race now, and my body's shot. I can't sing like I used to. I can't preach like I used to. And I do three podcasts a week, and you hear my voice. It's awful. It sounds terrible and gravelly. But, there's just something in me after all these years. I just can't quit. I started out playing music when I was 7. And my brother and I traveled all over the country in revivals, and we'd sing at funerals that we knew everybody. When somebody died, they would want me and my brother to come sing. And My sister sang with us for a while until she got to Dayton and married, and then she left home. And my brother and I stayed together until both of us got married, and we got married just about a month apart. He got married in November, and I got married in December. But we traveled everywhere together and played and sung. And then even after I went to preaching, I was his pastor for a while, and all the meetings we did in Ralph Sexton's tent and meetings, he did all the sound with me. And then when I started Voice of Hope, he did all my meetings, the sound. And he still worked for Ralph, I guess, for 40 years. He still helps Ralph out from time to time if there's a problem with the sound. Best sound guy that's ever lived in my lifetime, my brother Jerry. And I posted a picture of him not too long ago. We got to spend a couple of days together down in Albemarle in a meeting. I went down to his church, and they had a meeting there, a conference, and preachers conference, about 75 preachers. And I sat and listened to the classes, and I didn't really need to, wasn't really interested in that. I did want to hear Dr. Dr. Ted Rendell. I wanted to hear him. I got to meet him. I wanted to hear the videos of Dr. Steve Olford, and his son David Olford was there. I got to meet him. So that is a good meeting. But I got to spend with my brother, and that's worth worlds. Spend time with my brother. He's my older brother. He's the oldest. And see, I'm 69. He turns 76, and 76 in July. He'll be 76. My sister will be 75 in November. So I'm the baby. But just a lot of memories, and so I'm kind of melancholy today thinking about a lot of good things. We got a lot to be thankful for. You know, I don't know. So a lot of folks have asked what I'm going to do. I want to preach. I've got meetings booked this fall, and I've got a lot of churches want me to come do Sundays, and I've hesitated booking them yet because my voice is still so weak. But I'm going to book them and go and do my best. But I don't intend on traveling a full schedule. I can't. My wife is tired. My wife's a few years older than me, and that doesn't make a difference. She's strong and she's still in good health, but we both are tired. We've traveled the country, 48. I've been in 42 states. Only 8 states I've not been to. I've been in 13 foreign countries. They tell me, figuring up, I preached 15,000 times beside TV and radio. And I used to be on 7 radio stations every day, and now a podcast. Just in the last 10 days, I've reached 70,000 views just in the last 10 days. And I couldn't reach it. That's a lot of people. So over a year's time, I possibly can reach 1 million people just on social media. So the Lord still let me have an outreach, and I praise Him. I praise Him I go to church and take my guitar, and I pluck on this little old Martin every Sunday at church. I play Sunday morning, Sunday night. Don't on Wednesday nights. We don't have a lot of music. Just have congregation. But I play on Sunday morning, Sunday nights, and every now and then I'll sing. I taught Sunday school a little while back, and they wanted me to sing in Sunday school every Sunday I taught, so I sung a couple of songs, and I just do whatever the Lord lets me do. And it's discouraging. Being you that know me, I've spent my life traveling the roads for Jesus. Really have. And I've spent my life burning up the rubber, going from church to church, preaching and telling the old story. Played the piano for church, didn't have a musician, didn't have a piano player. I've led the music in camp meetings for other preachers, and I've tried to do everything I could to encourage young preachers and old preachers. And my wife and I have given everything we got to the ministry. It is very discouraging to get to the place I'm at now and not be able to do what you want to do. But I determined that as long as there's breath in my lungs and as long as I can get out of bed, I'm going to do what I can do, because I owe God too much. He's been so good to me. I thought during the last couple of years of cancer, they first said I had stage 4 cancer. The doctor said it was incurable, inoperable. And I figured it really did. I started making plans to die. My wife and I had conversations we had never had. And I started getting my ducks in a row. And I really thought I'd already be in heaven by now. But for some reason only known to God, He touched me and healed me. And I'm still here. And so God's got a purpose in that. And so whatever that purpose is, I want to fulfill that purpose. And if that means preaching again and limited just once every now and then, or preaching a revival or 2 or camp meeting, then I want to do that. If all He wants me to do is to finish writing the things that I've started to publish this book, I've got 2 or 3 other books that's already in the works, and I want to finish those. And I've written 22. This will be number 23, and then I've got 3 more that I want to write. So more than 25 books God's let me publish, and all the songs I've written, I've never let them. I've never put them out to the groups. A lot of the local groups have sung them. The Fitch family did a lot of them, and my family did quite a few of them. But I had a lady a couple months ago told me I would give them. I got a couple songs good for the inspirations, perfect just for the inspiration, but I've never sent it to them. I just haven't tried to promote anything like that because it's not been my desire. Whatever God gave me, I just used it wherever it was used. But I do want to serve Him and be faithful till God calls me home, whatever that means. And I just ask you to pray for me and my wife. We're going through a transition period. This is a different chapter in our lives. We've never been here before. I'm walking a path I've never walked before. And it's a lonely path. It really is. It's a lonely path. Because I've spent my life around people. And being home all the time now and not seeing people. And not being in church every night, every day. And fellowshipping with preachers. It's a different life for me. I'm not used to that. So I'm a people person. And I just don't have the strength. I just don't have the ability to go to meetings and sit, and I just don't have the ability. I'm just not able. So it's a transition for she and I, and we're trying to do our best. She's doing good. She's my strength, and she's helped me. Hey, Brother Luther Dixon down in Florida, I pray for you often, my friend. I know you have been through so much. I pray for your daughter. You and your wife have walked a lonely road, I'm sure, too. You understand what I'm talking about. Being a caregiver for a loved one is not easy. Praying and wondering, feeling helpless that you can't do anything. I know God called you to preach, and I know that's in your heart too, but you're not able to fulfill it like you want to either. So I understand it, and I pray for you often. Hey, Ryan. Hey, Miss Patricia Kennan. Your husband was such a blessing to me. I pray for you often. I see your name come up on Facebook, and I pray for you. Brother Wayne was a dear friend, and he was a friend to me when others had turned away, and he and I just kind of hit it off together, just two old country preachers, and loved deer hunting together. We run into each other several times out deer hunting at the restaurant over there on Highway 220, over there at this truck stop, and we'd talk. Hey, Brother Tony Kimmerer, is that Tony? TK is Tony? Yeah, it's Tony. Hey, Brother Tony, I love you, buddy. Your family means a lot to me. I think about you a lot. Your dad, I guess he's over in the Philippines or back here now, but I see him. And your mom stayed in touch with me all through cancer. She's awful bad about posting those pictures of those things she'd baked, them pound cakes and other cakes, and I'd tell her she ought not do that. That was just awful torment to me. She'd laugh and tell me she's praying for me. And your family has been a blessing. I love you, and I'm proud of you. Proud of how God's used you. And great musician. You're talking about a musician, Tony Kimmerer. Talking about a drummer. That boy's a drummer. Lord have mercy, that boy can play the drums. So a lot of friends on here. I see folks coming on. So I've been on here too long. I just kind of going back down memory lane. I thought about those pictures I posted last night, and some from the tent meeting here in Kingsport in 1985, the big tent, and the ones of me under the tent. And a lot of you have been with us in those big meetings and youth crusades. And so I've had a good life. It's been good. And hope God gives me 10, 15 more years, and hope He lets me do some things still that I want to do and travel some and preach again. But if He doesn't, I'll accept it. We'll get through it. But just want to come on this morning and just let you know I love you and thank you for supporting us. Thank you for all the views and the followings. If you're not following our Facebook, hit the follow button. That would really help us. And then if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you can get to it from our Facebook page. There's several pages that I've listed that you just hit that page. It'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. Or you can go to YouTube and type in Dr. David Harrison. If you just put DR, it's going to get my son. So be sure and put capital D, little R period, Dr. David Harrison. And everybody says, well, DR, is he a doctor? No, he's not a doctor. DR David Richard. Ronald Queen started calling my son, he was David Richard. And so we both had the same name, David. And so every time they called us David, both of us would answer. So Ronald Queen's in heaven. Greg Lynch's father-in-law, Neil Queen's daddy, Miss Julia, she's still living up in Asheville. Her and her daughter and their son-in-law, Greg, works there at Hearts with Hands. Ronald Queen was my deacon, best deacon I ever had, my friend, like a daddy to me. And Ronald Queen started calling my son DR when he was just a little boy, and it stuck. And so now he's 43 years old this June. And this month he'll be 43. And is that right? Yeah, 1982. He'll be 43. He'll be 43. And it's stuck, and he's DR to this day. So a lot of folks a lot of his enemies said he claims to be a doctor. He's not a doctor, but I am. I've got doctor's degrees hanging on the wall, earned and honorary. So don't come at me about that. I didn't buy mine like some of you guys did. I earned mine, and I got bachelor's, master's, and doctors, and that don't mean anything. It takes that and $5 and I can go get a cup at Starbucks, cup of coffee. It don't mean nothing. The only thing it does mean is that I worked hard to get them, but it doesn't make your love offerings any bigger and make you any smarter as far as the thing on the wall doesn't, but the education does. And I'm glad God let me go. I'm glad I had some schooling. You wouldn't think it as country as I am, the way I talk and the way I preach, and as countrified as I am, you wouldn't think I had any sense at all. Some of you think I never made it through the second grade, but I did. And I learned how to parse a verb and how to write a sentence and do it right. And I even learned Greek and Hebrew. I even know Greek. I know a little Greek. He runs a restaurant down here. And a little Hebrew runs a clothing store over here in Kingsport. I'm just kidding. I do know Greek. I studied a little Hebrew, but it's too tough. But I did take me 2 years of Greek. I can use it to study with, but I don't know why I got off on that. I'm just rambling this morning. But anyway, it's been a good life. God's been good to us, and He's still good to us today. We've come through some deep waters, and God still let us stay around to aggravate you and aggravate the devil, and I hope He'll let us keep on doing that. Well, I'm going to get off here and read a little bit and get ready for lunch here in a little bit. I love every one of you. Go to my YouTube page, and there's a lot of stuff on there, and there's a lot of stuff on Facebook. View it. We put daily devotionals on every day. Water from the Well, that's the book I wrote, and I read from it every day and post it. I think it's already there through the 7th. You can read ahead of time if you want to, but it's just about 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes. I just read what God gave me, and I wrote it in the book, and just give you the verse, and then I read the part out of the book, and so that's a good devotional. Gives you a little thought, something from the Word of God that God gave me. So I hope you enjoy those, and then we got some other things coming up. We got a whole bunch of preaching coming on here soon. I've got a bunch of churches that are downloading the digital files of the messages that I preached in their churches years ago when my voice was still good. They're sending those to me as soon as they get them all digitized. And we're going to create an audio page just for messages. So there's going to be dozens and dozens, probably over 100 messages to start with. And I've got thousands stored up at the Voice of Hope office that we got to do something with. So we're trying to play around with some ideas now about for the future of that. To have a library of my messages from the past. You know, the message everybody wanted to hear, Stairway to Heaven, Highway to Hell. Some of the youth messages on suicide, and some of the other topics I did on Satanism, as well as the messages I preached, 5 Minutes with a Rich Man. A lot of great messages God gave me. And so those are going to be available online before too many days. And then the new book, 3 chapters left, waiting for the editor to send it to me. His part is done. I've got to read over these last 3 chapters, make any changes I see, and then the book is done except for the pictures and the design. The designer has got the covers done. They're doing 3 designs for me to choose from. I should get that any day now. And then once we get the pictures and once we meet with the publisher and they take it to the printers, then we're going to start pre-selling the hard copies. And then all of our books will be on Amazon sometime this summer. So everything's working toward that. So just keep praying. And hey, Etta May up in Ashboro, good to see you on here. Your husband, y'all been a blessing through the years. Think about all those good times we had, the meals we had at your house. I'm glad you're still doing well. Hope you are. And just keep praying for us. Well, I'm going to get off here. Hope you have a good day. Goodbye, babies. Goodbye, neighbors. Goodbye, neighbors. I'll see you next time. That's where it come from. Y'all have a good day.